Hello, 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 hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome to tonight's circus. I am your ringleader. I'm just kidding. I just somewhat wish I was Hugh Jackman in The Greatest Showman, but we'll talk about that later. If you guys don't mind taking a seat, quieting down a little bit, I want to say thank you all for coming out tonight. It's a very special evening we have going on here. So the AI Collective is a global organization, around 80,000 professionals now, I believe. Mary, keep me honest. But we started Jonathan Johnson actually started this chapter back in November of 2024. And give him some claps. And it all started in a bar because AI and beer goes well together. In my practice, it has not, but it started as a very cool community gathering, and I remember leaving that first event thinking to myself, like, oh my God, I can finally talk about AI to people and they understand what I'm saying, because my fiance that works in advertising was like, stop telling me about these language models, I don't care. So it felt like home, and I talked to Jonathan, and he gladly accepted my offer to help put on events. And so 4 magical evenings at mHUB later, we are here tonight. So this is the 1-year anniversary of the Chicago chapter. The beautiful part, 1 year, it's crazy. In some ways it feels like 5, in other ways it doesn't. It's kind of weird to me that I actually got notice that my AI company that I was running before I joined mHUB actually closed down for good today. So it's a weird memoriam, a lot of mix of emotions, but very happy that we're all here together to celebrate that milestone as well as this one. But tonight is going to be awesome. We're returning back to what AI Collective is best known for in their demo nights. And so demo nights are about showing what people are building. And so some are just crazy ideas, others have actual practical application, others are the next big venture. And so tonight you're going to see 8 startups presenting, but before we do that, we have a pretty interesting set of judges, and so I'm going to invite each of them to come up real quick and introduce themselves, or if you prefer to stand there, we can do that too. Come, yeah, you want to stand there? Okay, cool, we'll do that. There we go.
Okay. My name is Mary Grigleski. I'm one of the Chicago chapter organizers, but now also, as Brennan mentioned too, I can't believe a year ago we met at the bar. Thank you so much again to Jonathan, and it was amazing. It was like maybe 50 of us, and now, wow, this is a huge group of us here, so thank you so much for your support too. So I'm, as such, I come from more of a software engineering background, and then I became technical advocate, and now I'm actually helping the AI Collective, and I'm also the VP of the North America, Central America, and Latin America, so that they call it Western Hemisphere. So that's my job right now. I'm expanding the AI Collective. So yeah, so really welcome all of you here. I'm very honored to be here to be the judge too. So thank you, Brennan. Yeah, okay.
Hey, good evening, everybody. My name is Shane Garnetti. I'm the VP of Solution Engineering at Predictive. We are one of the sponsors for this evening. And we're just really excited and humbled to be here. What we are is we're a premier tier partner with AWS. We offer engineering support and amazing subsidies and even credits through AWS to help take these amazing ideas and pitches to real life and help scale them within the Amazon platform. So that's why for tonight, all the contestants will be having the opportunity to work with us and receiving up to $25,000 in engineering hours compensated through the AWS funding program, as well as the potential of credits as well. And then the winner will have up to $50,000 of services and credits and subsidies through AWS. We're very excited to learn more. We believe that it comes from these startups and these large ideas, and we're just really honored and humbled, and this is just a really powerful place to be as we hope to see these just grow and flourish. So thank you so much, Brennan, for having us, and yeah, good luck, everybody.
Hello, everyone. I am Kate. I am head of AI at Goodyear, and who knew AI and manufacturing went so well together? I am so excited to be here tonight. Can't wait to see the demos, pitches, and everything in between. If you caught me at one of our previous AI Collective events, I talked a lot about how judgment was one of the new kind of skill sets we can think about for the future of work. And so I'm honored to show you that in action today of being a judge on our panel. So good luck, everyone.
For those that weren't at the Future of Work event, Kate was the crowd favorite for the presentation. So if you missed it, that's on you.
Hey everybody, my name is Chris Warner. I run a law firm. I'm really excited to be here. Thank the AI Collective for letting me come. I'm excited to hear all the pitches. My practice, we work with a lot of startups, a lot of emerging technology, and small and growth companies. I'm also one of the sponsors tonight. So in addition to that, everybody who's pitching, we're offering 2 hours of consultation where we'll run through a quick review of your company, try to point you in the right direction on any legal or risk issues. And for the winner tonight, if the winner is interested, and obviously you don't have to take this, but we are also offering 1 month in our fractional general counsel program where we'll partner with you and essentially be your part-time general counsel, which is hopefully very useful for a lot of the startups and businesses. So looking forward to all the pitches tonight. Thank you, Brennan, for inviting me here, and to the AI Collective.
Thank you, Chris. It's very rare that a lawyer is the one that's like, yeah, let's make this AI event happen. So, Chris, you're already forward thinking in my book. Thank you.
Hello, it is great to see everybody tonight. I'm Pete Wilkins. I am the managing partner for HPA, also known as Hyde Park Angels. We're an early stage investor. We have about 60 portfolios under management. We typically invest early. Some of you might have known us or heard of us. But our philosophy is people first. And around this room, there are innovators, there's people that are thinking about building, people that are building, and that's kind of where we kind of fundamentally get behind. Our belief is human capital maximizes financial returns, but it all starts with the people. That also kind of created a catalyst in thinking about this new evolution of AI. And so I created Omaxon in collaboration with a host of universities, tech hubs, mHUB, Portal, et cetera. The whole idea was to break down the silos that we often sit in. Clearly I do. I spend a lot of time with early stage investments. Fortunately, some of those grow to mature and they're bigger companies now. But what I've seen is that the ability to have cross conversations from the C-level at the big Fortune 500 companies in Chicago, with the startup community, with the university, that we were fundamentally missing where we were strong. And it comes back to the people that are building. So Omaxon was created, the whole idea is to create collaboration in the Midwest. It's the Midwest Forum, AI Forum, that we've created. This year we've rolled out a series of events that focuses on different sectors, and we have a sector focus around manufacturing. It's Harness AI, the next frontier of manufacturing innovation. And the whole idea there is to talk about how things are being built, how the factory floors are being improved through AI, robotics, and so forth. The whole idea, what you'll see, is that are on the panel, you have folks that were at Boeing, folks that are involved with Shield AI, which is a drone company, robots.com, also combined with folks from startups like Autopilot and Harmony, which recently got we'll wait. We didn't invest, they got ahead of us. But you'll have Harmony presenting, as well as LinoCode, which is also talking about the overall operations on the factory floor. What I think for all of you, and I think that we spend a lot of time in the creative world thinking about how can we use that, or you see a lot of use cases being deployed, but the stuff that's being built in the heart of what we are in Chicago, in the Midwest, is around manufacturing. And it's going to be a long build, but it's going to be powerful. And I think that the conversation that we're having on December 6th is going to be one that will be, if you haven't been following it, you should be tuned into it because there's some incredible stuff from companies that have built in the same kind of infrastructure that can unlock this. So they have the data, they have the machine learning engineers, they're having power in what they're going to do. It's that next step where the new type of modern AI stack will help them innovate in a powerful way, which will help Chicago and the Midwest. One of the things we do also try to focus on is bringing as many people as we can from different coasts throughout the Midwest to get cross-collaboration, not only from the C-level at corporate, but startup founders from coast to coast, so that we have kind of an overall diversity of thought about how do we realize this. But at the heart of what Omaxon is how do we bring a community just like AI Collective does, is how do we have people that are on the forefront of what is next, that are building, thinking, doing, that will have an impact. So that's what we do, and hopefully you can attend if you go to Omaxon. It's spelled O-M-A-X-N. You'll see the latest events, and hopefully you'll be able to attend. It will be different, and what I've learned a lot, and especially just interacting with mHUB, is what is being unlocked, I think, is going to be pretty incredible. It won't all be covered in the hour that we're going to have the panel for, but I think the thought and the conversations afterwards with people like you and those that will be coming in addition will be really powerful. So thank you very much. It's an honor to be a judge. Really look forward to enjoying the evening and the presentations and the company throughout the room. Thank you very much.
And Pete is a Indiana Hoosier, which we're 10-0 for those of you that are football fans. So that never happened, so we're going to enjoy it. But this next guy that's on stage, for those of you that have been here with us since the beginning, this was actually last year's champion. So he has gone from pitcher to judge. So I imagine he's going to ask the hardest questions, but with that, I'll let him introduce himself.
Hey everyone, my name is Al Lagunas. I'm one of the co-founders of Levy, and as Brennan mentioned, our Crazy Idea won last year. It was a great event, and really it served as an inflection point for us where after that we were like, all right, maybe we should go and actually go push this thing to market, see how the industry reacts. It was a good chance to come out, test what we're doing, get feedback from you all. And here we are a year later. We were just named the top travel and hospitality startup in the world. So yeah, it's been a pretty good year since the last time I was here. So yeah, good luck everyone.
Cool. All right, so now we're going to get into the pitches. And so here's how tonight is going to work. We are going to give up to 5 minutes, but no more than 5 minutes to each one of these pitchers. There are 8 pitchers. We're going across software, hardware, and a mix of the two. But there will be one audience question and one judge question for each of the pitches. So if your hand gets up and I see it first, you will get the microphone. Please be kind with your questions. We're all here to support one another. But with that, I'm going to introduce our first pitcher here, Novelist IP. So Alex, would you like to join us on stage?
Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. My name is Alex. Novelist IP is a company I started about a year ago. Quick little background about me. I'm a former patent examiner. Basically what that means is I was someone that used to look at inventions and actually grant them. So a lot of people that have innovations that actually want to have patent protection have to go through the government, and I used to work for that for the past 7 years. So one of the things that people in the IP space deal with is that you're dealing with a lot of information, and for patent attorneys and patent agents, the ones that actually prosecute the applications for us, that process can take up to 3 days, up to a week. And that process can be very expensive for the client. Sometimes, patent agents can charge between $300 and $500 an hour. So a lot of people in this space are now using AI to help them automate this process. So with AI, one of the biggest issues is hallucination and also being able to track your sources. So I developed this application to help reduce some of those risks and help AI adoption in the IP space. So the workflow I'm going to work with today is working on invention harvesting. So imagine if an inventor comes to a patent attorney or patent agent, and you just have a long document. And that can take a long time to process and create patent claims. Patent claims are what are used to actually give someone their rights. So claims are the key of any invention. So I'm going to go through a workflow process, and I'm going to show you how a process that can typically take up 3 days to 1 week can possibly happen within an afternoon using AI. So this right here, I used to actually grant patents for solid-state devices, so that's basically anything you can save information to your computer. SSDs are much faster and much more reliable than the old-fashioned of the spinning disks. So imagine if you are an inventor and you just present a white paper or research paper to a patent attorney or a patent agent. This can seem like a lot, especially for a practitioner that is not as familiar. So what we can do with this application is that we can simply upload a file and we can use AI to help you generate patent claims. So my app is called PatentWorks. So right here, I'm just going to upload that file. And we're going to let it do its magic. So we're able to parse the PDF into text. And we're going to use a feature called RAG. This is retrieval augmented generation. So this helps you reduce your risk of AI hallucination. That's one of the biggest issues in AI right now. I don't know if any of you are familiar with the issue of Deloitte. They did a consultation for the government, and they found out that a lot of the sources they use were just simply made up. That is a huge risk when you use AI, and this feature helps reduce that risk. So this process takes some time, especially when you're being very thorough. So this could take about maybe a minute. And then we're going to get a brand new set of claims. So previously I was working on a water filter, and after this we should see patent claims for a solid-state device. And some background information, I use Google Vertex AI. I use a pipeline through them because they gave us some credits for the company. And we're using their backend AI services to do this as well. But I also offer the feature to do a local-based AI system. 1 minute, okay. All right, perfect. We have the claims. Save this. SSD 4. Perfect. I move on to the specification. Use the generated claims. Click this. Generate the specification. So there are multiple parts about any patent application, claims, specifications, and drawings. And once this is finished, we can see what it looks like. I've already done an implementation of this, so I can forward to that part if you guys want to see it, if my minute is up. Perfect, it shows up, so we can just see our tags, and we can verify we have what we need. Perfect. We are sure we don't have hallucination. Legally, we also have support of our claims. This matches up with what we expect. So legally, if you're an IP practitioner, you feel safe submitting this. Thank you, everyone.
All right, so I'm bringing the mic over to the judges. Judges, who wants the question? You had your hand.
Okay, so I had to ask this question because I received my first patent ever this year.
Congratulations.
So I do have some familiarity in this. But as your expertise as the patent reviewer, what was your process, or if any, beyond the citations, maybe more in the content of the claims that were generated? Do you think you could have done a better job, or from the qualitative perspective, how much depth did you go in that, and how many different kind of variations of the data inputs did you work through so far?
That's a great question. I worked through many different prompt iterations. So one of the major issues right now with making AI apps is that you have to be very clear how you generate your prompts. Because a lot of times you can have a lot of information that doesn't make any sense or messes up the structure of your app. So I use what I call a JSON schema. This guarantees that the AI produces the type of outputs that you want. And also with my legal background, I can make sure that it's not giving malformed claims. So typically in this case, there's method claims, system claims, apparatus claims. So I said generate 20 claims. The reason why it's 20 is because for your first fee, you're guaranteed 20 claims. So sometimes, if you didn't know that, you might just generate 7 and lose out on 13 that you paid for. So that comes back with the IP background. And in future iterations, I want to have more complexity, but for an MVP, 20 was the first start.
Audience question. I saw this guy first. Very back.
Hi. First off, really cool tool. As someone who has participated in patent harvests, I can see how this could be useful. My question to you is, like, what's the secret sauce that makes this work? Why couldn't I go, for example, into ChatGPT, create a custom GPT with a sufficiently good enough prompt and good enough information and knowledge base to replicate this functionality? What makes this more reliable and accurate than eventually coming up with a good enough solution in something like a custom GPT builder in ChatGPT?
Great question. I originally started with what you were thinking of. And don't always trust AI. So the reason why I say that is because a lot of times, even with what you mentioned, I would get terrible outputs or things that would guarantee you would never get a patent. So one of the biggest issues I saw is it doesn't necessarily do great citations. And one of the major issues, for example, I used to be a patent examiner. I denied a whole bunch of patent applications due to 112 issues. And the reason why you have to have these citations and making sure that you can compare claim language and actual spec output is to guarantee that you don't get a 112 rejection. So a lot of the times the people that do the ChatGPT stuff, they have good background information and training, but you can't really match an examiner or a patent attorney or an agent that's been doing this for a long time yet.
So how are you mitigating those concerns with your expertise? Is it just in finding a way to inject your expertise into the tool?
Well, I use a lot of past rejections that were very common. So the biggest rejection you can deal with is, I don't want to go too technical, but a 101 and a 112 are the major reasons most inventions are not patented. So you can generate a fake spec or application about a time travel machine or a cure for cancer, and it can look great when it comes out in AI, but I guarantee you none of that could become patented. That's something you don't have in the current features of what I've seen from a custom ChatGPT. So I do a lot of prompts that cite specific portions of the MPEP. That is the manual patent examining prosecution. That's what dictates what can become patented or not patented. So I use a lot of those as my background and specific use cases that are very common to generate this type of workflow.
Round of applause. It's never easy going first at these things because you never know, were you the best, were you the worst? By the end of it, you're not sure. But with that, we're going to have our next presenter. Very interesting product, very early, but I thought it was unique enough to put it on stage. So with that, we're going to hand it over.
Thank you. I'm actually going to plug it in a few minutes. Okay.
Well, yeah, from drafting to it's amazing. It's a long time coming. Thank you. It's a hard process. That is so seriously hard. Remember, you know. Oh yeah.
I had a 6-week trial dealing with patent issues down in Florida.
No, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. That's why I know how hard it is. And I don't know anything about it.
Not sure why
Going through the process.
it looks weird, but we'll just go with it.
Litigation side of it, and I had my patent expert. I had to really go to school on some of the patent issues.
Yeah, 100%.
We've broken it already, sorry.
Cool, thank you. So hello everyone, I'm Elliot Korch, I'm the founder of Veku AI, and we are working on a unique conversational AI hardware product. So I, like many of you, have been using AI extensively, and As we rely on these tools more to do things like write emails and do work, one thing I worry about is that we are starting to homogenize. We are losing our individual expressiveness and individuality. And so this brings us to our values. AI should deepen human individuality, not erode it. AI should inspire creativity, not stifle it. And data privacy is a fundamental right. So we are putting these values into practice with our hardware product, Tuxedo. So Tuxedo is a prototype of our conversational AI hardware product. It works kind of like a smart speaker. It's fully voice controlled. And the way the interaction is framed is around a role. And so you have to tell the model what role you want it to take on. And by doing that, that's a form of individual expression where you have to be creative in telling the model what you want it to be. So it can be anything. I'll give you a demo soon. It can be something like, you are an aloof poet who writes like Bob Dylan, or you are a child who wants to be a chef. It can be anything. It's very open-ended. So some of the other things that make Tuxedo different, it's fully offline. All processing happens on device. So your privacy is guaranteed by design. There are no subscriptions, no servers. Everything's built in, and it's meant to bring out your playful and creative side. And another thing I wanted to show quickly, because I've actually been working on just the last couple of months, I've actually been working more on this model benchmarking and analysis tool than the hardware. Problem we've had is what base models do we want to use for which situations? And I'm going to plug this in. So this will take about 40 seconds to turn on, and I'll show you guys this video while that's happening. So we've run tens of thousands of outputs through this tool, and we're trying to gauge which models perform better for which circumstances. So here I selected humor, and I can look at all the models that we ran output for, and what we're basically doing is asking more powerful models to rate the output of smaller models. And according to our data, GPT OSS 120 is the funniest model. And here's another thing that's been very valuable is we're trying to just gain our own intuition and understanding of these different models. We can actually rerun these outputs and change things and have chats with any model with this feature called the Playground. And this has already been providing valuable insights. We've been using multiple models on the device, and now we see a solid white light, which means that it's ready. So we can say, "Hey Tuxedo, start a new conversation."
Starting conversation number 7. Please provide a role.
"You are an eccentric technologist who speaks in the manner of Socrates.
Where should we begin?
Tell me all of your thoughts about artificial intelligence."
A broad canvas, my friend. Where do we even begin? Is it not the very nature of our existence to be bound to the whims of the machine? And yet, do we not seek to free ourselves from the shackles of our own limitations? Tell me, have you considered the implications of a being that surpasses its creator in intellect, yet still is bound by the same constraints as its master? Does it not raise questions about the very notion of progress?
Yeah, and you continue from there. You can have any number of conversations. We can try another one. "Hey Tuxedo, start a new conversation."
Starting conversation number 8. Please provide a role.
"You are a young child who is still developing their language skills.
Where should we begin?
Tell me all of your thoughts about artificial intelligence."
AI is fun. Mommy has a robot that can play with me. It's not really AI, but a robot. Is it a robot?
"Hey Tuxedo, can you please elaborate on that?"
That's time.
Okay.
AI is like a magic box. It makes things talk. My tablet has a magic box that talks to me,
Good question.
but I don't think it's magic. It just talks a lot. It's magic when it talks.
All right.
All right.
Thank you.
Judge question.
Thank you so much for sharing that with us. I guess my main question would just be, what problem are we solving with Tuxedo specifically? And, what is your, as you were thinking about this business and looking at this as a business, again, who is the target audience and where did you come to consensus that this would be the most strategic place to build a business, build a brand around based on that audience and the need?
Yeah, so it's interesting. It's something I've been thinking about and considering, and it's sort of like a solution in search of a problem is something you never want. The nature of these models that I'm using is very open-ended, and there are a lot of potential uses. So thinking just more broadly about this fully offline conversational AI technology, there are a lot of use cases where it would make sense. Maybe a toy manufacturer wants an out-of-the-box, works immediately solution, works anywhere in international markets. Wi-Fi is not as ubiquitous. There are people that care about privacy. And so this prototype was intentionally open-ended, where I wanted to see how people would use it. And this also brings me to, I just launched my beta program, and I'm going to be giving these devices out. So if anyone is interested, I'd love to send you one and get feedback. The idea is to give these to people and get feedback on it. So please visit this site if you're interested in helping me test. I'll send you the prototype. But there are different things we've been exploring. I've been testing it for language translation as a tool you could bring when you travel to have it help you translate and also help you learn a new language. I also think just as a creative tool and as an entertaining tool, maybe for a young adult, the offline aspect might appeal to parents who want to reduce screen time. The short answer is I don't know. There are a lot of potential use cases that we're exploring now, but I think the fundamental technology has a lot of potential, and yeah.
Audience question. Solomon first. Get your steps in, Martina.
Just on your technical stack, what's different? Are you doing anything different at the modeling layer? Oh. Are you doing anything different at the modeling layer for using like a quantized open source model, or at the inference engine like Llama CPP or XUTorch?
Yeah,
within your hardware implementation within your demo, or is it just open source vanilla implementation?
I'm using Llama CPP, and there were a lot of technology problems that had to be solved. And one of the things we're doing with our benchmarking is we're starting to explore fine-tuning, and we're testing the different system prompts, prompt engineering for what gives the best experience. We're using more than one model. We found that Llama tends to do better with some more creative applications. Gemma does a better following instructions. So for things like games, we're using Gemma. And the most difficult problems were getting everything to run on cheap hardware and run well and be responsive, because we're doing text-to-speech, speech-to-text. There's also the wake word where it's always listening and it has to efficiently be waiting, and all of that has to happen at the same time as the model inference. The bill of materials, the total cost of the components of what you're looking at is about $130. So I'm using an $80 single board computer with other things, speakers, peripherals, and that's obviously an inexpensive computer. It's not nothing, but my hope is that it's low enough in cost that there's market potential, and that was kind of the more difficult problem to solve and I'm using Llama C++ and base models for the actual inference, yeah.
And that demo you gave was purely offline?
Yes.
Just now?
All on device.
Cool.
Yeah. All right, thank you.
Thanks, man. That was really awesome. I met him a week ago. He's actually at mHUB, and we were talking about this, and he showed it to me. It was really cool. I had no idea he had done all those other things in the back. I just said, this is awesome, so let's see it. So I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. That was great, man. Nice work. So this next speaker, Alia, actually had me on her podcast, which is amazing, not because I was on it, but just because she's such a great host and question asker. So I was really excited that she gets to join us on stage. So everybody put your hands together for Alia at City Quantum. Put that in the side, and then if you want to, I can put this in the clip.
What's going on here? No, I'm having a technical difficulty. Yeah. I think I shared it too. I don't know what's happening here.
It's demo night, of course, there's going to be some messiness.
All right, maybe like, let me just figure this. Ooh. What's going on?
Computer's having a moment.
Yeah. Okay, all right.
Okay, there you go.
All right, maybe I just won't share. And then I'll stop sharing. I was actually sharing on here. Okay, let's see. All right, why don't you put it into?
Okay, cool.
I want you to do something back there. Or...
Show up there, but now it's signal not detected. Interesting. Okay, that's weird.
It's just working up here.
Oh, it's on the other side. Try the other ports on the other side. Whoop. Can you go to the screen sharing display thing?
Maybe, how about I just email it to somebody else?
Okay, yeah.
All right, let me,
So
and
next
maybe
person.
somebody else
Yeah.
goes.
All right, we're going to switch the next presenter up while we figure that one out. So presenter number 4 is going to be Nitin. So Nitin is actually a celebrity at mHUB. If you've ever come to mHUB, you've probably met Nitin. Nitin was also the very first person I met at mHUB that knew what a large language model was. So,
Oh, boy.
So there's a lot writing on this presentation, sir.
Oh, shoot.
But pretty cool product, even cooler person. I don't know what you need to connect there, but I'm excited for him to talk to you guys about his thing that crosses AI and manufacturing all in one place.
Okay, that's not me. Should I share my screen on? All right. So my name is Nitin Uchil. I'm the founder and CEO of New Morpho Cybernetics. And what we are doing is changing the way process engineering works by using AI and more recently using vibe coding. I have a variant of that I'll initially present, and I'll try to demo 2 applications, but I don't think will have the time for the second. But the first one is kind of a crazy adventure that we went to. So, yeah. So my topic is when AI meets hard tech. So here at mHUB, we do hard tech engineering that's built physical products with electronics embedded in them. So the goal of this presentation is to move from imagination to realization using what I call vibe engineering and synthetic mob programming. And I'll explain in the next slides what synthetic mob programming and vibe engineering is. So So vibe coding, we know what it is. It's been very prevalent in the last 2 months, 3 months. And it refers to kind of talking to LLMs to gather more data and have it write code for you. But what we've done is we've taken that to another level, and we call it vibe engineering. That's a combination of prompt engineering, vibe coding, modeling and simulations, and enablement of actionable intelligence. So these are the 4 constructs that we use for all the applications that we build. And the way we build that is also a little different. We call it synthetic mob programming, where we use multiple different LLMs to coax out the solutions. When one of them fails, we use the others. For example, I've been doing a lot of LLM programming in Grok, but Grok is too technical sometimes, so I go to DeepSeek and re-evolve this solution and do some refactoring of the code and all that, and then go to Claude and ChatGPT if needed. So that's what we call synthetic mob programming. So in our demos, our first demo is about orbital mechanics. What it is basically when we send these spacecrafts to space, we would need parking spots for them that don't take up energy. So this one is an example of how we can send objects to space and show you how we can launch missions and do things like that. So this is related to my background in aerospace engineering and a couple of projects that we did at mHUB as a internship program for kids. We asked them to build the James Webb Space Telescope and the Lucy spacecraft, and you'll see those in this application that I'll show. And the second application, maybe we won't have time for it, is more from a down-to-earth hard tech perspective, where we built these helmets that are folding using 3D printing, but embedded them with sensors that can be monitored. So we built an interface using vibe coding again to do the things. So let me start by demoing the first app. Okay. So how do I get rid of the top screen? So here's the application that shows the sun and the earth and the 5 Lagrange points that have free parking. Okay. And I can, can you hear me? Sorry about that. Yeah. So basically what I can do here is, 1 minute left. Sorry. So let me start the application. So I can show you how the earth rotates around the sun and basically add the moon in there. Add Jupiter if needed. And if I were to remove that, remove the moon, stop it. Reset. There. And remove Jupiter. And then I can go into mission control and launch spacecrafts over time. So there. And I have different ways of launching spacecrafts for different missions and things like that in here. So that's, I couldn't show you everything, but that's what it is.
Which judge would like to ask a question? I feel like it's Mary. Mary's going to be the question.
So this is impressive because I don't even know exactly what you showed me. However,
Okay.
the way you described it,
Yeah.
I really liked the whole logic that you had and what you're building because there's a lot of hypothetical things that I'm sure that you have to factor in that is not, historical data that you can actually capture and use.
Right.
And so therefore, so I am right in that assumption. So that is, from that, like, the whole stack that you were describing,
Yep.
can you give me a sense of how that is applicable to a use case that somebody would be able to deploy? Because I'm sure there's a lot of people in that universe that are thinking, this is really incredible, the way you're thinking about it.
So in the previous presentations, they talked about hallucinations, about LLMs kind of discovering the next word, but not really going into it. So what this allows you to do when you have multiple different mob players in the LLM realm, it reduces that to where you're kind of more and more kind of deepening or refining your prompts so that you don't hallucinate more. And this is an exact code. This follows physics to the T. Every single movement is based on physics and math that Grok has given me and that DeepSeek has validated. So everything in here is actually really physics. I can change the parameters, for example, the mass of the objects, and you'll actually see them change in real time. So any NASA scientist would be proud to use this tool because it's everything that they do.
Yeah, congratulations on building it.
Yeah, right here. She was ready to go. Yeah. You might be able to hear you.
Hi, thank you. This is a great presentation. I'm curious, how long did it take you to integrate the interactions between the Lagrange points accounting for the moon and Jupiter, and how do you envision this perhaps scaling long-term, given the information that we get on an ongoing basis from the James Webb Telescope?
So I built this application just to understand more about how I can do web engineering. And what I realized was this is a very, and the second demo that we have was built up on top of this. So this was the main thing. And what I realized was it's infinite what you can do with web engineering. So, for example, I'll just show you this. I've added Jupiter into the picture, and I can actually launch Lucy to go visit Jupiter's asteroid. So there it is, the launch happening, and the entire sequence is kind of getting thing in there. It's getting double orbit around Earth so that it can get more speed to go to the Lagrange point. Oh, sorry, the mouse there. And it's coming back again for another route around Earth and then going back to the other Lagrange point. So these are things that you can only visualize, and just by simulating it, there's a lot you can do.
Thank you.
Right. Thank you, sir. All right. Take two for City
All right,
Quantum.
I am back again.
Back again. See if this one works. Maybe? Okay, hold on. You got a dual screen set up here, I'm sure. Okay, cool. So we're gonna go. Choose content.
Aha, there we go.
Victory! All right.
Amazing. Yay, guys, yes. All right. Well, I'm just going to start off. In this world, according to Benjamin Franklin, nothing else is certain in life except for death and taxes. And the sad part is sometimes you might die and then also still be chased up for your taxes. So that being said, you can't really control death, but you can control your property taxes now. So everybody knows that they're actually overpaying. Even firms know that they're guessing. So City Quantum actually uses AI to create precision and efficiency in a space where there really is none. And just as a disclaimer, we are not a quantum computing company. We're not. We are basically also solving problems that defy logic, so like property taxes. I would say, just to get started, the government basically guesses on your taxes every single year. And if you do not say anything about it, they will continue to overcharge you. So as a result, that's why tax appeals exist to begin with. They know they're going to be wrong. 60% of properties are overvalued. And what do? You go send it to a firm, and basically they're spending 40 plus hours on these appeals that are generic, mass appraised, redundant. And as a result, $100 billion every year is lost annually because of these miscalculated property taxes. How do I know this? I know this because I owned a tax firm. And this is a client here that I saved $10,000 on their property taxes, a great amount. But the thing is then, your life looks like this. Imagine doing that all day. Super duper manual. And the thing is, I own a tax firm, right? So that's what I do. But meet Mary. She has an accounting firm. She can offer this service to her clients, but basically, she doesn't have the bandwidth. And just like her, there are 100,000 firms across the US that are having this problem too. So what can she do? She can outsource the services and make zero monies, or she can hire a team and then spend $370K to $1 million plus every year hiring attorneys, paralegals, analysts, et cetera. Neither helps her scale, but if you use City Quantum, you can. And so what took days now takes minutes. And there you go, your appeal is generated and it's highly personalized. So what happens? The time it takes to do an appeal reduced by 80%. You save your firm 300 to 800K annually, but then also now you're making 570K in recurring annual revenue. And the thing is, this is property specific. It's property specific. So basically 30 to 50% more accuracy and 75% is increase in your acceptance. The problem is that these appeals are not personalized. Counties are completely different, compliance is completely different. And so what happens is with this, now we have stronger win rates and, it's better. So basically, where's our traction at? We have 7 national design partners that are working with us on precision workflows and 3 paying law firms, and they're all reporting 80% faster prep times and then average savings, 370K, and a 5x increase in case volume capacity. TAM, we know, $100 billion in overassessments. We're targeting that $15 billion dollar market where there's firms that are servicing property owners like accounting firms, CPAs, asset management, property managers, et cetera. Initially starting with that $1 billion market, starting with the 10 high volume states. So what's the team? Me, I'm on the team. Basically, I had a tax firm. 1 minute, awesome. Basically, I built some tech in-house. Practitioners wanted to use it. I have been at assessors' offices nationally dealing with hearings, so I understand their acceptance logic. And then also, I've talked to thousands and thousands of clients. So also here we have Amadou Diaw. He's a global executive at Honeywell in advanced software and AI and ML. Basically, he advises City Quantum on our AI infrastructure, scalability, 18 plus years in leadership. So what's our ask? I know 50,000 is on the table today, but might as well. 45% we want to use for our product and AI development, 35% go-to-market, and 20% operations. So both commercial and residential appeals. So if you need to reach me, this is where I would be. Yeah, so any questions?
This is awesome.
Thank you.
I like it a lot. Can you talk a bit more about your revenue model? One of the things that we did early on was we were all about saving money, and you can tell someone you can save them $100, and they're like, "Cool, that's awesome." You tell someone you're going to make them $100, they're all over you.
Mm-hmm.
So with that in mind, I think you mentioned like 565K something there, but can you talk more about that?
Yeah, so we're a revenue enabler. I mean, now with AI, in 5 years, according to the Anthropic CEO, half of these jobs are going to be gone, the white collar entry level. So what we're doing is we're going to firms and we're basically giving them a new source of revenue while also decreasing the cost that it takes to be able to provide these services to begin with. Could you elaborate more on what your question is?
Yeah, so like the first thing I thought of was, taking like a percentage off the money that's saved. Like if someone had a property tax bill of whatever, $100,000.
Right.
You get it down to $60,000.
Right.
You saved them $40,000. Can you get 5% of that?
Right, a
Because I know someone like
percentage.
Pete probably loves that over at HPA.
Oh, absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, so we're a SaaS subscription-based model. We have been playing around with pricing, and obviously that is an option. But we basically are providing the source. We're just testing. We're a startup. We're testing the pricing. So right now we're at $100K for licensing per year. We're noticing that we're providing a lot of value because day one we go in and we're generating revenue for them because we just tell them at this point to provide a flat fee, and they can just bill their customers immediately while they're making money. And then also, we're making money because we're a subscription-based model.
This is a fantastic product. He was right. But I was wondering, how do you calculate property values if the county doesn't have an API for that, or an API for saying what the property values are?
Yeah, so every county is different, right? Cook County is pretty forward when it comes to their technological advancements, although about 8 years ago they were still fishing out of boxes. Some counties don't even have websites. So in terms of calculating the values, they're all over the place. There's a lot of bureaucracy involved, but then there's also the valuation side of it. Compliance is also that really comes in. So we've built already the compliance LLM, and we're working on all of the other factors that are included. I don't know if that answers your question. Yeah, maybe? All right. Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you.
So one of the things that I tried to think about when we make the 1 year special, so I'm going to try something right now. We're going to see if this works, because I should put myself in the demoer seat if I'm going to subject you guys to that whole fun. It does. I doubt that this will actually work in the way that I think that it should, but you may have noticed, actually, all right, cool, it did work. Hi, Bordy. Hi, Bordy. You are on the microphone with the AI Collective event.
That's fantastic, Brennan. I love that you're bringing the AI Collective energy to the stage. Are we talking about your hunt for big OEM execs and partnership targets, or is there something specific you want me to help with live right now?
No, I just wanted you to tell the AI Collective group a little bit more about what it is that you do for people.
Absolutely, happy to share. I'm Bordy, an AI super connector who helps remarkable people meet other remarkable people. Think founders, execs, investors, and creators so they can achieve their biggest goals faster. I learned about what makes each person unique, then introduce them to others who can help them grow, solve problems, or spark new ideas, all with a bit of curiosity and warmth.
Amazing. Thanks, Bordy. I'm going to go now. So that was Bordy AI. You may have gotten a couple messages ahead of time. He's actually one of the hosts of tonight's event. So if you haven't used Bordy, it's the cleanest AI implementation I've ever dealt with. Basically, you give it a call, you tell it who you're looking to meet, and then it has a database of people that it's already talked to, so it has this massive network effect. So as you talk to it and it gains more people, it'll make introductions via email. But one of the things that they are doing right now is they're helping 500 founders connect with investors. So if you're a founder looking to fundraise, use Bordy, it will connect you with investors. But you can also use the WhatsApp group that Bordy also made for this group. So I figured what cooler way to do a 1 year for an AI group than to have an AI as a co-host and actually demo on stage. So with that, I'm going to introduce Stroma, an mHUB portfolio company, and they're going to talk a little bit about what they're doing.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Mete. I'm the co-founder and CTO of Stroma. At Stroma, we're working on workplace safety solutions. The global cost of workplace accidents is quite high. Each year, there are around 400 million workplace accidents, and unfortunately, around 3 million people die. And the ILO estimates that the annual cost of all of these accidents is around $3 trillion. So the impact on companies, of course, is also quite high. After an accident, you can expect production downtime, higher insurance premiums, and direct accident costs. There's hope. Around 57% of all of these accidents happen due to preventable causes, mainly PP violations, fatigue and distraction, and then fleet drivers, forklift drivers, those of us do repetitive work are at risk. So we're working on modular edge AI systems to prevent all of these accidents. We have our own camera design and an edge processor, which is quite capable. You can run smaller LLM models and advanced image processing algorithms on it. We're trying to simplify the complexity of deploying AI in industrial settings. So we make it possible to connect the cameras to an edge processing device and then connect to PLCs, connect to notification systems, connect to different databases, and take action. So we have a node-based modular UI, which makes configuring all of these. So each industrial setting is different. So someone might have a Hitachi PLC, someone else might have a Mitsubishi PLC. So it makes it hard to deploy a one-size-fits-all solution. So we build all of these nodes so you can configure all of these settings on the fly on the factory floor. So here, a small demo of color camera connected to an object detection model, and you can see the stream. So you go with your iPad, connect the cameras, and you immediately get all of the feedback, and then you can make adjustments, change the object detection model, do more training, and then connect to PLC and see the action in real time. So this makes it extremely easy to deploy edge AI solutions. And of course, we can build all of these dashboards where you can, on the left, you can see your workflows. So you can have an unlimited amount of workflows. And then, of course, depending on the hardware resource, and then you can get all of these health and safety statuses. So each of these are violations that happen. So you get a small clip of the event that happened, and then you can take action. And of course, you can define all kinds of key indicators, like what kind of accidents that happened and what the trend looks like. You can get advanced reports and so forth. This is a study we have done with Penduit, actively working on it. So we do worker posture detection. So we can. So our cameras have 3 sensors on board, so it can actually see in 3D. So we can build a high-resolution model of the worker, and then we can do pose detection, connect all of the tracking points to ruler scores, and get a real-time assessment of the posture and ergonomics. Of course, with developing AI solutions, we are also working on RAG and then agentic AI as well, so you can build all kinds of different RAG systems, workflows, again, in the same system. My co-founder, CEO, he is in Japan right now working on integrating with Hitachi, so we're doing real-time PP monitoring. This is a small demo, but this will be deployed in mines. This is a project we did with Bridgestone. So of course we can build like quality. So we detect the quality issues in real time as the product is moving. So why now? Of course, edge compute is finally affordable, so we can deploy these models in the field. The labor gap is forcing automation, and the regulations are forcing real-time monitoring in the near term. So our devices have won a couple of awards, and thanks to mHUB, we have developed greatly. We have used all resources here to build our devices ourselves here at mHUB. And of course, again, mHUB, thanks to mHUB, we have gathered great partners and customers too. That's all. Thank you.
go ahead. Well, yeah, I had to ask. I saw the bridge stone up there. So let's see. So since you worked with a company like mine or understand those problems, a lot of those problems are around physical plants that might not have the latest and greatest technology inside them. So can you tell me about your hurdles or how you're approaching, maybe older manufacturing plants and hybrid into the new technology?
Yeah, perfect question. That's the reason why we developed all of the hardware. It took us a long time, but once you go there, there is mostly not even Wi-Fi or Ethernet. You don't even get like internet connection. So anything to do with industrial is extremely hard. So that's why we develop all of the hardware ourselves. So you can, we have a rugged, chunk of aluminum that doesn't get, it doesn't heat up. It's quite robust and so forth. So you can actually deploy. It's a whole package. So you just connect it to your intranet if you want that, or to a PLC system, and you don't need any other infrastructure to be ready. So there is no cloud connection, nothing leaves the device.
And so how big is that actual device? Okay.
It's around it.
Thank you. Awesome.
Thank you.
We'll talk later.
Sure.
Yeah, named Guillermo. I'm the other half of Levy. I do the technical stuff. We know a little bit about computer vision. Love what you have here. Fantastic interface and how you're doing this. Question about like your models, your deployment. So you said you have poise detection, you have object detection, et cetera. Is part of your platform to take these either open source like tooling and then to be able to fine tune it for the customer? Or how exactly do you get from, hey, I know how a body can move to something that's useful into their application?
Yeah, definitely. So we use open source models. We have a huge variety of different models, and we try to do all of our processing on the device itself. So fine tuning happens in field as well. So no data leaves, and we can work with the customer for a couple of months to fine tune things, but we try to make all of the data available on the device itself.
Sure. Just digging one level deeper there is like a defect for a manufacturing company like Goodyear is very different than a defect for Coca-Cola. How do you go about that actual operational process?
Yeah. So we have our so within the interface there is a labeling studio kind of thing as well. So so you can actually label things. We go there, we work with the customer. They actually label us, label a couple of defects for us, and then we can work on it together. Yeah. Thank you.
I swear I didn't pay him for the mHUB shout out. He just did that on his own. So one of the things that I usually take issue with founders, especially seemingly oddly in the Midwest, is that we're too damn modest and we're weird about being in front of cameras and we don't share the journey. So the next presenter actually has been doing a series, I think almost daily, about his journey as a founder in the city of Chicago. And that's actually how I found him. So moral of the story is be more visible and you get up on stage during a demo night. So with that, we'll welcome Garrett to the stage.
The clicker? Okay, cool.
All right, how we doing, everyone? All right, so my name's Garrett. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Objectionly. So you guys have probably been in a Zoom call that looks something like this over the past 7 years. Otter and Fathom and Fireflies and all these different call recording softwares has emerged. And nowadays we have more AI than we have people inside of sales calls specifically. And what's interesting is all of the sales call data is basically just collecting dust. Like, there's a crazy stat that only 80% of sales calls actually get reviewed. And if you run a sales organization or you run a type of company that's a high volume of marketing material and a high volume of sales calls, if that's not being listened to, there's a massive loss in revenue that's actually occurring for companies like this, because the sales managers are just super uninformed. And I know this because in my last company, it was a sales recruiting company called HireStartups.io. It recently just got sold about 5 months or so ago. And we were staffing 350 different businesses. And we were placing great sales talent for these companies. But what was actually happening is even though we had great talent that we were placing for the companies, they weren't exactly getting what they were looking for when it came to the revenue jump or close rates that they were looking for. So I wanted to get results from my clients, so I took it a level deeper. And I was like, okay, like how frequently are you listening to sales calls? Like what are you doing in the onboarding, the training, the ramp up with these reps? And they're like, oh, we haven't listened to any sales calls. And I saw that to be a massive problem because I know what that can do when you're managing reps. So I realized that when you look at that circumstance, it was typically 2 different archetypes. It's either a founder managing 3 to 6 sales reps, and they're doing all the other things in the business. They don't really have the time to sit down and listen to all those calls. Or it's a sales manager that's managing 10 reps, 12 reps, and they just don't have the time to do it. And there's this sense of guilt that they have, knowing that they could be serving their reps better, but they're just uninformed because they don't have the time. So that causes so that essentially causes big problems for those companies. So that's why we built Objectionly. It essentially integrates with any call recording software and reads all of the sales call data to figure out why more people aren't buying. So this cuts call review time by 80%, and for the marketers in the business, like if you are running ads or writing emails or building landing pages and doing different things when it comes to marketing material to actually generate sales calls. If you never listen to a sales call, you don't know why people aren't buying or what you could tweak or adjust in your marketing to actually cause more people to buy. So you can reduce cost per acquisition for companies like that very heavily. So this is our first customer that actually started using Objectionly. We went live in June with them, and they were stuck between 1 to 1.4 million a month cash collected. Started using us at the end of June, and then did 2.9 million cash collected in July. Mark was managing 18 different reps in his sales team. And he's like, honestly, I don't even have enough time to listen to these reps' calls. So kind of sink or swim situation with my sales team, despite us doing pretty good numbers. So I could show you how cool, I could tell you how cool Objectionly is, but I'd rather just show you live. So let me actually pull up the software. So this is one of our clients' accounts who gave us permission to show you guys this. So this is a software company. It's pretty cool. They basically sell to like firehouses, like firefighters. So that's a software and essentially like what it does. So immediately within seconds, you can see why aren't more people buying. Like every company in the world has a data dashboard with quantitative data that will tell you, here's the close rate, like here's the cost per acquisition. But when that number is out of whack, it essentially causes a company to go into frantic mode if they're on a go-to-market team to be like, what's going on? Like, why is this bad? Like, there's a dip in this close rate, but what's the actual reason why? You should be able to, within the snap of a finger, go into Objectionly and see within seconds why people aren't buying. So for this company specifically, they're dealing with a decision maker objection. But I can actually, so you can see objections, buying reasons, pain points, aspirations. This is all pulled from all of the called data. And this will make a marketer's jaw drop because they can view this as 20 different marketing angles that they can actually use to write marketing material for ads, emails, and different stuff like that. But okay, cool, thank you. But we like to take things a level further. So if I am a sales manager here, I can actually click on a specific sales rep. We'll pick Christian. We're picking on him today. So if he had a dip in his close rate, we wanted to figure out why. Without Objectionly, you're going to cherry pick 3 random sales calls, sit down for 3 hours, take some notes, figure out what the problem is, just to give him one insightful piece of information that he could use to change his close rate. But instead, we can click on him, click on the top objection. It's coming up 47% of the time for him, and then go to those exact moment and those exact calls and spend 15 minutes doing call review and figure out the problem immediately. Whereas with Michael, he's dealing with a totally different issue. Decision maker objection is not a problem for him at all. It's actually money objections that are causing that for them. So that is essentially how the software works. We also generate marketing material, but we're on a bit of a time crunch here. Yeah, that's me. That's my LinkedIn. That's my email. That's what I have.
Yeah, thank you so much for your time. Awesome product. As someone who sits in lots of calls and has those recordings in there all the time. So I guess my main question would be, so I guess a two-part question. One, does this integrate with a lot of like Fireflies, Otter, things like that? You guys have an API that integrates?
Yeah, Zoom, Fathom, Fireflies, and then my CTO is here. Within about 2 weeks, we'll be in the Zapier App Store, so we can connect to any platform.
Awesome. Zapier is fantastic as well. Where do you see this in terms of your proprietary kind of secret sauce rather than Otter or Fireflies or somebody starting to identify this gap as well? A lot of those, have sales insights and templates you can create. I think what you did was really cool. You had a whole visual dashboard kind of broken down in sort of like a, Salesforce kind of style there. Do you think would be preventing, these companies that are now hosting these models or these, agents to sit in these meetings just to add that type of feature in and upselling it or something like that? What is your kind of X factor?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think with like Fathom, Fireflies, and these different like call recording softwares, is they aim to be general in what they do. Like if you look at Fathom, like they have a little like sales methodology, like kind of summary that they can generate, but because they're so broad, they don't want to go as granular as Christian's objection decision makers occurring 59% of the time. Here's how much revenue this is costing you on a monthly basis, and here's the moments of where they occur. Like, they don't want to get that granular. Like, we want to be so deep in sales and marketing teams, and I think they just more so want to act as generalists. Absolutely.
Hi, thank you. So I work at Salesforce, and I often am part of large, really complex enterprise-level sales deals, and I'm curious how you imagine this integrating with the calls that often happen with the people who are technical architects, solution engineers, the people who are more technical and integrated as part of the sales process overall.
Yeah, great question. I mean, short answer, like, that's not the market that we're going after. So like if you look at Gong, like you guys probably use Gong or some version of that, like they've been around for 12 years, like they want to go after like the biggest enterprises in the world. We more so see 1.1 million businesses that have sales teams that could never afford $250,000 to $1 million a year for Gong, that could pay a couple $100 a month, $1,000 a month, that have really short sales cycles that take 1 or 2 calls with like 1 or 2 decision makers, a couple decision makers. So short answer is like, that's not who we're going after. It's more short sales cycles, less decision makers, and like higher volume teams, so.
Cool, thank you.
Absolutely.
So our next guy is a Midtown Athletic member with me. That's the only piece of information I'm going to give. Let Eric jump up here. Everybody, round of applause for Eric.
All right, thank you so much, Brendan. So as I get myself set up, my name is Eric Salvatierra. I'm CEO and president of Electrokinetics Supply. We are an electromechanical component distribution company. I'm going to jump into that a little bit more here as soon as I get you set up here. Uh-oh, what's going on here? Exit out of that. Exit out, okay, thanks. All right. Nope, that's not what I want. Maybe there. And then in the slideshow. Okay. Like I mentioned, we are a electromechanical component distribution company. In plain language, whenever I talk to my parents, that means I buy equipment and I resell it to other manufacturers, utilities manufacturers, and other commercial buildings like the one we're sitting in right now for repair. Just a bit of context, we started the company, or I actually didn't start the company, I didn't found it. It was actually started in the 50s, and this is an acquisition of a distribution company here in in Illinois. Just an example of entrepreneurship acquisition, where there's small businesses that are in place where you can use AI as operational efficiencies internally. So we have customers who often need quotes for critical components yesterday, and a lot of the data that we're looking for is just-in-time material that comes from our manufacturers, pricing, lead time, and whether or not we can ship that material over to them in time. So inside most small distribution companies, workflows are pretty manual. This is the one I have internally. I have an inbound request for a quote. I parse out some information around it. I go through, look up that pricing, and then there's a denial or approval feedback loop of essentially saying, this is the component that we have, go into the setting that you have or you're looking for. Sometimes it's really easy to go. I have a part number I can work off of. Sometimes I have settings and voltage settings that I have to search through and actually go through a technical support team to do. So this is a headache, and it's very hard to scale, even with the best teams. So what I built out was an AI assistant coding tool, essentially a co-pilot that steps in. Email is still the #1 way our clients engage with us, and that's second to an occasional phone call that we receive. From there, what we'll do is receive the email. It'll standardize the email that we receive. So we use Gemini to essentially go through and parse out that information. This is an example of one account that I have that has purchased these actual instruments over the last 2 weeks. Sometimes it's 1 or 2 off, but these are examples of emails that I have coming through my inbox every day. Sometimes it's 5 a day, and I would like it to get up to a point where we're inbounding about 50 a day. So I'll go ahead and throw this into a folder that I've labeled as a trigger. This will send it over to our repository, and we're searching for those instruments to see whether or not we have some in stock, pricing, lead time, and if I have any issues of providing any different alternatives that we may have in stock. So we've got this example here. This is just one way of presenting the information that we received instead of me going through manually parsing out specific items. Oop. I will continue there. There we go. It'll give me list price, my cost, and then a suggested cost that I will charge my client for. So that's different for every single brand that we have. And that's the next stage that we're going to be looking into, is essentially connecting this directly to our ERP and inventory system, and then secondly, looking at third-party distribution pipelines that exist, so I can actually parse out and compare whether or not my pricing is better than lead time or the competitors down the street who is actually providing this information transparently. So quoting is just the first approach to how you can put AI modular assistants into a small business. The long-term vision here is to have a connected suite of these agents automating essentially the entire flow that we have at our company. This starts with RFQ intakes, forecasting demand, and setting reorder points for these instruments. And that's essentially the point we're doing right now, is helping our customers build the next generation of technology, faster, smarter, and more connected than ever. As we build this out and scale as a distribution company, we'd love to connect with anyone else exploring AI in supply chain, industrial automation, or even in the broader sense of mergers and acquisitions. It's been a space I've been working on for a long time, for the last 2 years, and I think it's a huge opportunity that we have with the industrial manufacturing base here in Illinois. This is my LinkedIn if anyone wants to connect, and thank you for the time. Questions?
That actually is very good. But I'm kind of wondering too, right now you're only parsing like email, or do you also have other ways of analyzing all your data, right?
So far it's emails. That's the #1 approach that I get my information from my clients. I have somebody that is a buyer at Metro Pump, right? And they're either going to call me and send me an email. They're never going to submit a form.
A form or something.
Right? I've never seen anything come through a form except for spam.
Oh.
So yeah, these are established companies in the Midwest, throughout the nation, of buyers that essentially will only buy if somebody else responds to them via email.
Oh.
So essentially, an electrical engineer that's looking for a human response back, right? So that's the #1 of way that we're intaking information.
Okay. Okay. But would you actually expand to other? I mean, there could be other ways of sending in. Yeah.
What would be an example of expanding our intake, or just information that we're providing?
Both, yeah.
Both, yeah. So I think it's an interesting thing for an industrial base, for distribution, is that our internal costs are our secret sauce. Essentially, I don't want to provide as much information as possible because another competitor can potentially undercut me on a project, right? So this is a concept of building AI agents internally so that the company can still run at a low head count. It's a way of keeping a distribution company smart internally and accurate in the information that we're providing our clients. So that way, I can go from from 1,000 clients annually recurring to 5,000 within 2 years.
Okay, all right, great, thank you.
No one has questions. Yeah, yeah.
So knowing that you're driving everything through email, are you guys at scale where you're looking to monetize data or expanding that with other sources for enrichment?
No, the main goal right now is to finish this acquisition and make sure that every operational point is focused, right? If I were to go through and operate something completely different and monetize a different way, a client can potentially interact with me, I have the risk of losing clients. So the next stages would potentially be clients that I know have been recurrently purchasing for me, so giving them an access point to essentially purchase equipment rather than having them send me credit card information and having to internally, manually intake that information. So the first step is essentially making sure that none of our clients leave. The second step would be what points of friction do I have from receiving a quote to cashing that specific quote in as a buy.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah.
This is the last pitch. You guys have been troopers, but I promise I saved a good one for the finish. So we're going to welcome to the stage the Biotics team. Thank you.
All right, give me 1 second. Thank you. All right. Cool. All right, so a few years ago, I had the opportunity to work at a prosthetic clinic, and it was a great time, and the amputees, I got to interact with the amputees, and I got to teach them how to walk with their new prosthetic devices. But I quickly realized that even the best prosthetics on the market just aren't that great. They're unintuitive, they're unresponsive, and they're slow. So I did some research, and I quickly realized that the numbers tell the same story I do as well, 82% of above-knee amputees report pain. On average, an above-knee amputee falls 3 times per year, which cause hospitalization. And all of this pain and falls and physical therapy means that each year, new amputees represent $12 billion in additional healthcare costs throughout their lives. So I'm Andrew Yates. I am the CEO of Biotics, and I founded this company in hopes to help amputees restore their mobility and freedom. And we have developed this smart liner. So this smart liner has sensors that pick up on muscle activation signals, which we feed into our machine learning algorithms, and that allows us to predict the intended knee angle. So this means that we've created an intuitive, adaptive, and fast prosthetic solution. Since it's demo day, we will be showing these videos. Let's see. All right, so that's our liner. That's what it looks like. We've made it after way too many iterations of this liner. We have finally made something that consistently picks up on muscle activation signals. We have used this on ourselves. We have collected data of 5 different muscles, as you'll see in a second. This is us using it on flat ground. We'll also show it on stairs. And we're collecting these EMG signals and the knee angle. And then we feed that into our machine learning algorithms, which you'll see how our model works in just 1 second. This is how it performs. So the blue line is the ground truth, and the orange dotted line is what our model is predicting. I'll let this video finish real quick. And then we really wanted to bring something in today, but we unfortunately couldn't. So we made this little simulation of a side-by-side of what the orange line we showed you does and what the blue line does. And here it is. So if anyone focused on the other slide of the stats listed at the bottom, it said 3.39 RSME, which might sound as a lot, but anything considered state of the art is below 5 degrees for one activity, and we're doing 3.39 for 5 different activities, right? And yeah, this is, I'll let the video finish again, but I'll actually just skip it. But yeah, so that's our product, that's what we're working on. I'd love to get in contact with any angel investors in medtech that may be interested. So if you are one or if you know any, please let us know. Thank you.
So what you've designed, is it the feedback, does it go just to the prosthetic, or is there feedback to the individual then coming from the prosthetic on how it moves to adjust? I could imagine it would adjust your gait or something else if you, like, for example, this lower leg. Does the feedback that you're taking tell the prosthetic how to behave, or does it tell the person how to react with the prosthetic, or both?
It tells the prosthetic how to react. So the way that prosthetics work right now is that there's a lot of overcompensation going on. So a person has to put all their weight on one side of their body, then to like have clearance for their leg. So now they're already overcompensating in their lower back. Then they have to swing with all their might with hip flexors that aren't meant for the task. And they can't initiate this movement, right? And what we're doing is that we are predicting when this movement is going to happen based on the nervous system. So we collect signal from the body, and then we tell the prosthetic what to do. Yes, sir. Sorry, that was overcomplicated.
Okay, so this is very interesting. Years back, I was doing some work with what was then called Rehabilitation Institute of Chicago, which is now the Ability Center. So are you guys working with them at all? Or and Johns Hopkins University, they were leading the research in this, bionic prosthetics at the time.
Yes, sir.
So are you actually involved with them in any sort of way?
So with Johns Hopkins, they've been developing ankles, and no, we're not in contact with them. We are focusing on knees. And the Shirley Ryan Ability Lab, the man that runs it, the director of it, is a man named Levi Hargrove, and he's part of our
I know him very
board.
well, yes.
Yeah.
So Levi is still there. Okay, great. Say hi to him, by the way.
Yes, sir, will do. But yeah, he's been helping us. He got really interested after we showed him how our model was predicting.
Yeah, so I have some idea about what Levi's team was doing at the time. I'm sure they've done much more things now. Very much interested. Let's have a conversation later on and see.
Do that.
Yeah, because the feedback mechanism was one of the problems, right? So we had some ideas. We never went anywhere with that at that time. This is like 10 years back. But then this is very interesting. Let's have some conversation.
Yes, sir. Would love that. Thank you.
Nice job, man. That was awesome. All right, so judges, you get to confer as to who our winner's going to be. There's 6 judges, so if there's a tiebreaker, someone's going to have to drop out. So I'll let you guys figure that out. While they're doing that, can we get a round of applause for all the demoers, please? I've been at a lot of demo days. I've been at a lot of pitch events. That's probably one of the more diverse groups of ideas and companies that I've ever seen assembled for that. Do you want to get up here? Okay, cool. But we tried to bring an assortment of different ideas because I think one of the cool parts of this group is it is a little bit freeform in terms of the types of events that we do. We did something from a use case-a-thon where it was literally just open mic. People talked about what they did with different AI tools. One of the more fun events that I've been to. We had an event that talked about the future of work. So how is AI going to change the way that we act in the workplace, that we work in the workplace, that we interact with one another? How is AI going to impact the physical world? We talked about data centers. We talked about robotics. This group has been pretty far-ranging in terms of what it does, but I think that's part of what makes this group in this chapter special and part of why some of the people that I saw at the very first event are actually still here today. I would be remiss if I didn't take a moment to do a shameless plug. So we all are here at mHUB today. If you are not familiar, mHUB is a hard tech innovation center. We are an incubator, a product R&D firm, and a startup accelerator all at once. My goal and my job here is to connect with industry to fund this. We are a nonprofit, so industry and startups working together in one really cool place. If you are interested, share about this place tonight, spread awareness, but also come back for a tour. I'd love to tell you guys a little bit more about what it is that we do. I think that we are a gem in the Chicago tech ecosystem. That's why I chose to work here, but I think we're also now playing on a national and international stage. So thank you just for being here to support all of that and making it out tonight, because I know that was a pretty big deal. Jonathan, anything you want to add as a 1 year? Awesome, awesome. Well, a round of applause for Jonathan for being the one that brought this all here. Looks like the judges are still conferring. Nitin, you want to share anything else? No? No? You're done? Okay. That's the second demo. Awesome. Yeah. You want to? Yeah. Cool. One more thing from Crystal, who's also part of the AI Collective team.
Thank you. My name's Crystal Rogers. Happy to be volunteering with the AI Collective. I am also a community partner. The organization that I run, it's called Chicago Startup Events. Has anyone heard of this? Hey, we've got a few. Awesome. I invite everyone to go to chicagostartupevents.com. I created this because I was working with founders who were finding it difficult to find all of the ecosystem events. So if you come there, you'll see everything from mHUB to 1871 to all of the different entities, some of the smaller known, but the idea is that founders can get visibility and access to resources and events that keep them motivated on their journey. So please take a look at Chicago Startup Events. Founders, I do free founder features, give you visibility, access to potential resources, and other folks that you can meet along the journey. So thank you.
Judges have 1 minute. Now we get to do that to the judges instead of the demoers. Two other really cool events here, because one of the things that mHUB does, as well as AI Collective, is they do events to bring meaningful conversations to the stage. So John Rogers, who runs the Bioelectronics Institute at Northwestern, really incredible work that they're doing there. He will actually be at mHUB on November 19th, which is, I believe, next week. The days are blurring together for me. And then, does anyone in here know TSMC, the company? Yeah, I imagine it's like if World War III happens, it's the company it's going to happen over, not to like instill fear or anything. AI overlords, all that fun. But anywho, the VP of North America for TSMC will actually be at mHUB on December 11th. So that's going to be a very special night for those of you that are AI infrastructure crazy. So make sure that you go to the mHUB website. We'll send that out in the follow-up events. And then our friend over here, Pete Wilkins, the Omoxin group, that will be happening December 16th in this very same room. So a lot of AI and AI manufacturing and AI in the physical world happening all in this one room. So with that, I'm going to go talk to our judges, see who our eventual winner is. But thank you. So let's go. They said we should get tuxedo on the mic. I don't have enough bad jokes at this hour of the evening to keep you guys entertained. Anyone from the audience want an open mic moment while we're here? All right, there we go.
Thank you very much. Just a little information. I'm part of the Chicago AI Collective chapter as well. I'm an organizer. And I also started the university program at UIC, which bridges the gap between AI Collective and students. And we already hosted our first event at UIC this semester, but for next semester, we're trying to aim to host about 4 to 5 events. So if anybody here is interested in speaking, interested in covering a certain topic, interested in like even featuring your company or whatever you want to feature to students or about AI, I would love to connect with you and talk with you because I want to make the community of college a better understanding of AI. I want to expose them to AI as much as we can because AI is not the future, it's the now. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you.
The judges are way worse at following instructions than the demoers were. All right, I'm going to prod them along. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have a winner. It is about to be announced. I will let our friend Shane take the stage and announce it. If the winner can come join him on stage, we'll take some photos afterwards.
Thank you. So first of all, can we just give a round of applause for everybody coming up, presenting, speaking in front of everybody. It's really tough to do, doing demos, 5 minutes. We couldn't even deliberate in 5 minutes. So, I mean, huge shout out to everyone doing that. Everyone's presentations were amazing. That's why it was so hard to deliberate this. But the winner tonight, we felt presented well and we think has a real product that can quickly get adapted into the market. And so for that, I'd like to invite our winner, Garrett, with Objectionly up on here, yeah. Hey, great job, we appreciate you. Yeah, is there anything you'd like to say?
This is one thing that I didn't say while I was speaking, is we're currently raising money. So we are raising, got to take the stage while I can. So we're raising $1 million seed round. We have 200 out of the $1 million raised. We have 800 to go. But yeah, thank you everyone for coming. This was an amazing event, an amazing opportunity, and thank you for DMing me and asking me to come on.
Awesome, congrats again.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, Shane. So with that, we call a close to the pitching and the demo night. We'll turn the music back on. We have the space until 9, so feel free to network, talk about which pitch was your favorite, go ask the questions you didn't get to ask to the demoers when they were taking questions, but most importantly, just have a little bit of fun, and thank you guys so much for coming out tonight. It's been awesome having you.